Okay, this is going to be a fursuit sandal making tutorial. I'm going to start off with the basics of what you need, and then we'll kind of do a rundown step by step. Probably going to make this a multi-part video just so it's small chunks to upload for folks. Very first thing, you need to have some multi-purpose anti-fatigue mats. I use these ones that have the little puzzle piece type edge. They just are the perfect thickness and the perfect sponginess too, so they're comfy on your feet. I glue a couple layers of those together, but we'll get to that point. So anyhow, that's the first thing you need. It's about $20 for this pack. It's 6 mats with 2 foot by 2 foot mats. Next thing, you need something to cut those with, so we got some scissors. You're also going to need some straps that are going to actually be used for your sandals. You can use anything. I tend to use these nice locking tie-down things. Pick them up at Home Depot. They're about $10. This is more than enough. That's several pairs of sandals right there. So we got that. And the other major part is going to be these parachute buckles, parachute cord buckles. They're nice little snaps. I use 3 per foot. You can use whatever you feel is comfy, but 3 works really well for me. So 3 per foot means I need 6 total, so we got 3 packs of those guys. Next up, you can use something like Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue kind of expands a lot. I don't tend to use this, but if you want to use it, it should work well. I haven't done that yet, but you're welcome to try. What I tend to use and absolutely love is this Loctite Super Gel Ultra Gel Control. This stuff is amazing. Works really well. It's about $4 for a package. I think I'll probably use about 2 or 3 for this whole project. Doesn't require too terribly much, but there's a trick with these that I'll show you partway through the video where you can actually cut this packaging open to have it come down to just this. The reason you do that, you can see this one I just recently got down to the packaging portion. When you cut away all this outside, you've used it and then it seems like it's empty. You cut away the outside, you get about 100% more. You can see there's a whole bunch more left up in there. So, why not get your full money's worth, right? So, anyhow, that's most of the stuff you need. There's only a couple more things. You're going to need a nice black Sharpie. You're going to need a lighter. The lighter is going to be used for your sandal banding snap material, the Teva type material. Basically, when you cut through this, you have to use the lighter to heat and melt over the ends so it won't fray and have issues later. Works really well. So have a lighter. And last but not least, you can use a giant sheet of paper or 2 sheets of paper taped together. Somebody sent me this particular one. You want to basically just set your foot down on the paper with your fursuit foot on. Take your little Sharpie and draw around your fursuit sandal. You can choose whatever design you like. This particular person wanted this kind of almost ninja tabby type design. So anyhow, you can make it, paw shaped, like muffin paws. The important thing is to give yourself a little bit of room sticking out around from your fursuit feet. That way you're not kind of rolling over the edges of your sandals and potentially getting your nice fursuit paws all dirty, because that's the whole point of having the sandals, right? Okay, next section of the video. This is going to be the part where we go ahead and make our tracing and cut out our actual fursuit sandals. So these are like Teva style sandals. In case you guys are curious, this is going to be the end product. This is a well-used one. This is the Teva style that I came up with based off of, I think it was a Matrices design actually. She has some good tutorials online, but it has nice little heel area here. It has 2 straps in the front that make it very easy to just set your foot right down, snap this around your ankle, and then snap these directly over the fursuit foot, and then you've got this nice, comfy thing. You'll see I've got an extra level of padding on mine. That's because of the way my fursuit feet were made. I requested a kind of silly way for them to be made, and I had to add extra padding for mine. You shouldn't have to do that for yours, but if you want extra cushion underneath the balls of your feet, if you're going to be like crazy dancer fur or whatever, go ahead and add an extra layer. But let's go on to how we get to this point. So, you're going to take your foot design, your foot paw design that you have drawn out. You want to have some rough design for how you want the style to look. I'm using the Teva style, as I said. People seem to really eat it up and love it. I've gotten almost as many comments on my fursuit sandals as I have on my fursuit, which is really weird. Anyways, so this is what we're looking top down, where you've got that little boot going around your ankle, and then it snaps, and then we got the 2 straps going over. This isn't exact the way the person did this. I'm going to adjust it slightly. But at any rate, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to take your fatigue matting, flip it over, set your paw down, and you're going to go ahead and trace it out using your Sharpie. You want to be as close to the edges as possible, using up as much, or as little, as little space on your fatigue matting as possible, so you can cut out as many sandals as possible. You don't want to waste it, right? Make your money stretch for that dollar. So that being said, let's go ahead and do this. For this particular trace out, I've already done this one. You'll see I have 3 of these guys already cut out here, but I'm going to go ahead and trace one out real fast here. So just lay it down on your piece. Make sure it's the smooth side up if you get this particular type of fatigue matting. I recommend that because the diamonds won't glue as well to each other. I mean, you can do it that way if you want. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but hey, do what works for you, right? So at any rate, we just trace our little slot out there like that. Boom, there you go. Take your nice, very sharp scissors. You want very sharp scissors because if they're dull, this is going to make this part really painful and it won't work very well for you. So you'll see I'm just cutting along the edges here. You want to try and be pretty darn close to your lines. Let's try and keep along the lines. You don't want to give too terribly much space, but you do want to have a little lip that's hanging out around your fursuit foot because you don't want them to get dirty, right? So you need to have a little bit of extra space. When you're tracing out your feet initially with that first design, meaning this design, make sure and give yourself a little bit of room along the edges so your foot isn't hanging over, because then you're defeating the whole purpose of a sandal, right? And you're gonna like get your paws dirty along the edges and then you're like, wow, why do I have fursuit sandals? So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and cut this bad boy out here. And what you're going to do is you're going to make 2 of one direction and 2 of the other. So what does that mean? When I drew this out, I set down my guy like this and I drew it out. I would flip this around and do another one. So that gives me 2 in one direction. Then you're going to flip your template over and trace out 2. You'll have to use another one of these, but you'll trace out 2 of the other direction when you've got it reversed. Why do you do that? Because when you have, whoopsie, those are 2 the same. Let's move this to the side. When you have one facing one direction and one the other, when you put them together, you have all of your little washboard grommet looking guys there sticking out on both sides. That corrugated look on both sides is what makes a Teva look like a Teva, right? I don't know if you've ever seen Tevas before in the store, those river sandals, but they look awesome. And doing it this way will definitely achieve that for you. So you want to have those smooth areas aimed in towards each other. And what you're going to end up doing, you can see I already kind of skipped ahead to the next step and traced out where my straps are going to go on here. The way you do that is you will take your locking tie down strap, or whatever strap you could buy, a dog leash even, just whatever material you're going to use, lay it out for how you think it's going to look on your sandal and just kind of get a rough idea and say, okay, that looks pretty good. One thing to keep in mind with this, you'll notice these are in from the edges. That's very important because you're going to have a little bit of, catch with these. If you catch it on something, you trip up a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I trip a little bit in fursuit from time to time. Trips, that's just the way it works. So bring those in from the side a little bit, because otherwise if these tear out, you're not going to have any more room to work with and potentially repair your sandals. So give yourself a little bit of room. I say about an inch, that's about an inch all around for all of those guys. And get a kind of look of how they're going to cross on here. You want to make sure that it's covering the whole of your front of your foot. And you also want to make sure that your fursuit foot can't pop through the front of wherever your V is right here. So make sure that you have these crossed up close enough where it's not going to pop out the front. It's also not going to shift and slip out the sides either, especially if you're a dancer fur. You want to be able to have some room there. So once you've done that, you lay them out. You basically just do a little dot, pull your thing, a little dot, a little dot, little dot, a little dot, little dot, a little dot, and you just connect those guys. Draw your line for those. So let's go ahead and do that once. Let's just get a feel for this. We're going to go ahead and lay this out just like this right here. So that's pretty far in. There we go. Let's go there and there. There and there. So we're about an inch in, an inch in. Draw between your dots. And I like to see the look of it, so I'm going to go ahead and lay the whole thing out, get an idea. Make sure that it's giving me the coverage that I want to hold that foot in place. There, 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 and there. Okay. Draw your lines, connecting those. Once you've got that all set, you're going to go ahead and take your nice, again, like I said, very sharp scissors, and you're going to go ahead and puncture through here. Be careful with your hands here. You're going to see me do this. Be careful not to slice yourself up, guys. I just use the scissors like this and just kind of saw motion just like that, and then it gives you a little hole right through there. Why do you need that hole? You're going to be feeding these nylon straps through those holes, and you're going to see how exactly that works in a minute, but you need it to be just the perfect length of that. You don't want to go any further. In fact, you want to have it as close as possible so it doesn't tear easily. So let's go ahead and do that for all four here. Puncture. And then we'll just cut. Nice sawing motion there. Do the same thing again. Puncture. Sawing motion. Puncture. Sawing motion. Believe it or not, these are still sharp. Okay, so there you go. I now have one of each of these done because I already have one made in advance for this. So, what happens at this point? You're going to do this on, you're going to have 4 of these total. You'll see I drew on another one of these, don't worry about that. I've only have these 2 punctured. You want to do this on one, let's see here, one left foot and one right foot. And what's going to happen is your straps are going to come through that over the top, and that's where you're going to make your buckles and everything. Underneath, you're going to put a little bit of that strap and you're going to be gluing it down in here. So that holds in place, and then you're going to have one of these guys glued to this, so your straps are all held in between this layer right here, and then come out over the tops with your buckles. And don't forget, you got to do your heel area down here as well, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that ahead of time for the next step, but you basically get the process behind all of this. I'm going to show the gluing and the strap cutting in a second here, and we'll go forward from there. Okay, we are now on to our next step where we're going to go forward and add our straps that go through these little slots that we have already marked off and cut for our holes. You'll see that I've already done my heel area here. To do that, basically what you're going to do for these 3, I didn't cover that really in the last step, so let's just go over that really quick. Just basically I'm going to put a slot, again, about 1 inch in for the rear right behind your heel, where that strap is going to come up and hold for the rear of your Teva nylon that's going to come around. And then you're going to put one that's going to run right in front of your ankle and everything, so it snaps right in the front there and holds all together. Obviously, you want to do this with a fursuit foot on, so you get an idea of where those realistically are going to be with the extra give, considering you're going to have fur around your foot. That's going to increase the spacing just a little bit. So I just went ahead and already did like the last steps. You know, we laid out the strapping, did the dots, did the lines, and so I went ahead and did that, and I already cut through on those sections. So what do you do next? How do you set up your nylon where you have it all correct? So what I did is I took some of those locking tie-down straps, like from Home Depot. Those are the ones that I use. I cut out 3 6-inch to 8-inch sections, which you'll see right here. Roughly 6.5, I don't know, 6.5 inches or so, 7 inches for mine. Might be a little bit longer for yours. The reason I give that distance is because you're going to be taking this and you're going to feed it through this slit that you made. Be very careful. You don't want to tear it on either side, obviously, so you want to do this gently. You can poke it through with a pair of scissors. I've done this a bit, so I've gotten pretty good at it. I don't tend to tear anymore. So you're just going to basically pull that through. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave a very small area down here, about 1 inch or so, 1.5 inches. You can adjust it afterwards. And this is going to get glued down to here. And this is going to, again, be that layer that is sandwiched in between these 2 layers. I'm going to only show you how to do a 2-layer sandal. You can do 3 if you want. You may have noticed earlier that mine have 3. That's because I've worn them a long time. I just glued an extra layer on instead of making a whole new sandal. Yeah, I got lazy. Anyways, you're going to feed that strap through there, glue this down. Again, I use the Loctite Ultra Gel Control. Here we go. Let's focus on that. There we go. Loctite Ultra Gel Control to do my gluing. It really bonds well with this nylon, the chemical reaction. It's insane, especially when you glue this nylon to itself, which we're going to get to in just a second. So these 6 to 8 inch strips that you've made, you'll end up gluing one of those pieces down there. This next one, you're going to measure up against your heel to see how high up you want to come with your ankle. And then you're going to fold it over on itself. And what you're going to do is you're going to glue that down, leaving enough space in between here, as you can see, space in between here, to have the strap that comes around and goes through all 3 of these. So we'll get to that part. Let's go ahead and get a feel for what we're doing with this first. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do these side pieces too. So let's just go ahead and feed these through really fast. Pop that through there. Give myself a little bit of lead there. We're going to pop this guy through there. And pull that all the way through and give them a little lead through there. All right, so let's go ahead and Ultra Gel Control these guys down. Pull those back a little bit. There we go, like that. So we're just going to take this guy here, glue it directly on this right here. This stuff, the reason I recommend it and swear by it is it's pretty cheap at Home Depot. It's like, again, like $4 or $5 for this. And it takes 15 seconds to dry. It is miraculously fast. I love it for when I'm at a con and I need a quick fix and it's just something simple that can require just a little bit of glue. This stuff's insane. At 15 seconds and your repair is done and you can go on with the con, have a blast. So, you know, little tricks like that. I love stuff like that. Somebody knows something better? Hey, tell me. I'm open to suggestions. Okay, so you're just going to basically do this for all the straps. I'm slowly getting a small amount. This one was already pre-used, so I need a little bit more out of here, honestly. So this is where I'm going to show you the trick, where this is running out. I showed earlier that you can get extra from that. This right here, you see I've got a whole extra tube, which you're going to see in this in just a second. Put your cap back on here if you're using Loctite Ultra Gel Control. Rip this bottom portion out, which is your blue slot. You can see the section I'm going to get out of here. I couldn't squeeze any more out. It did not have enough pressure with those little squeezies on the side. What you do is you take a pair of scissors, snip the side, snip the other side, and just pull out. Look at that. I got a whole bunch more glue that I can use now. Awesome. So let's go ahead and use that glue. Just a quick money saving technique. A little bit of extra cash helps. Go ahead and put your glue down that you need. Again, 15 seconds. Go ahead and do this one at the same time. There we go. Oops, don't glue your fingers to it. Nobody wants that. All right. And once that's all nice and bonded down really good, just go ahead and let those go. Now we're going to deal with our straps that are up here on the top. So again, you want this high enough up so your heel, this is going to come up and over your ankle with your fursuit foot on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and lay this guy down here for a second. I'm going to kind of get a judge from the side roughly where that's going to be at, giving myself a little bit of extra room. And look into here and go, okay, well, yeah, that should give me plenty of room to go just fine over my fursuit foot. Remember, you got to give yourself some space so your other guy can run in between. So this needs to come down a little bit further. So I'm just going to glue this last little section here down. Now, before I go forward, you may have been wondering why I had a lighter in the beginning of this video, showing the things that you would need. The reason why, and this is just a particular thing for me, I like to have everything nice and neat. I don't want to see frayed edges. You might be able to see, like right in here, this is a little bit frayed and sticking out. If you use your lighter under the nylon and just gently pass it back and forth, it's going to gently bond that edge together and it will no longer fray. And it'll still glue just as well onto itself. Touch it pretty quickly. See, now this is all completely glued. It's got a nice glued edge there that is all nice and firm. It's not going to fray easily. Could potentially still fray, but not easily. You can see that guy there just melt right back. Do both sides here. There you go. There we go. And get a little bit more right here. Anyways, you're going to do that for all three. I'm not going to belabor this point here. You get the idea. Get it all glued out. All right, so anyhow, once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and, again, fold this edge over. Give enough space where your other strap can run through the middle there, and then glue it down on itself, facing inwards on your shoe. You don't want it facing outwards because you're going to see this big, ugly thing sticking off the back. Make it look pretty. You're going through all the hassle, right? Might as well make it look good. So, I'm just going to add a small amount of glue right along here. And again, this stuff bonds really well against itself. Give yourself a good inch, approximately, that you're going to bond to each other. Alright. Gauging inwards here, be just about there. You can see my loop. I'm just going to hold that for 15 seconds. I'm going to wash, rinse, repeat, doing that on this strap here and this strap here, which I still need to use the lighter on. Anyways, in the end, they're all going to end up stuck together very nicely, like this guy over here. And you're going to end up feeding the strap that goes around through here. That's going to end up having your buckles on it. And I'll show you all of that in just a second here. Okay, looking good. Nice and firm. Excellent. And again, if this pops off, just add a little bit more Ultra Gel Control. Maybe you need it a little bit more in the beginning and just hold it down nice and tight. Give it 15 seconds and it should be nice and solid. So let's go ahead and talk about that next step. So once all these little straps are made like this, all these sticking up like that right there, you're going to have your three. You want to have the one that goes around. This one you need decently long. And the reason why is because, here we go. It's because you're going to end up coming around and putting your locking clasps on the edges here that are going to then snap together in the front. So you're going to basically, again, set your fursuit foot down there, measure around with your strap that goes around between those three U's, and that can easily be folded over on itself so that can lock into place onto your foot, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do all of that. I think it should be pretty self-explanatory. Let me know if you don't believe so. But pretty straightforward. You just go ahead and latch it around through all of that. You know, you're going to end up feeding this piece through first. Once you have these two sides done exactly like this, feed it through. Feed it through. You know, they'll be like that. And then you'll go ahead and put your clasps on. How do you put the clasps on? They're pretty straightforward. I don't think anybody should have any really dramatic questions regarding this, but you'll just go ahead and feed up, back, and through. And then you'll just glue this right back here. And then you do the same thing with the other side. You will go over and through. Like that. You'll glue that down. And so it'll end up having your snap, which you can see it'll be like that going around the front. Pretty straightforward, right? Again, if you have any questions, just ask on the video here. But then, yeah, they'll be glued down tight, and then you can just lock together like that. And one extra thing that I would mention, and you don't really show it right here. Actually, I'll go ahead and I'll stop the video for a second, and for the next section to start up, I will go ahead and show you the final little glue point that I would mention for these little sections here. So we'll do that. Okay, guys, so we're moving forward again. I just wanted to go ahead and show what we had done when we finished these three heel straps. It was basically just like I did the first. We glued that down. It had gone through. It folds over and is glued onto itself with a hole in the middle there so you can feed straps through. I did the same thing here and the same thing here. You can see it just goes through just like this. And then what I did is I went ahead and I cut a length out, you know, use about a foot or so, you know, don't waste too much, but get a rough idea of how much you're going to use. I folded over one end of my buckle. I went ahead and did the burning with a lighter, and I glued it down so it looks all nice and sharp. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just feed right through here, through the hole here, and then the hole here, and then the hole here. There you go. And so now you've got your Teva ankle area all complete pretty much. All you have to do is grab the other end of your parachute clasp and feed this guy through here and back through there like that, and glue it down at the length that works for you. So when I say the length that works for you, you're gonna have to measure it. Have your fursuit foot on, put your foot in there, go ahead and just measure out. Go, oh, that's way loose. Pull this in a lot further. See, okay, that fits just about right. So then mark that off. Cut that right there, melt the end with the, you know, after you cut it, you'll have to melt the end like I already did here with the lighter, and then glue it down for whatever's appropriate for you. So these sandals I'm making for Rocco, Rocco the Fox. Basically, Rocco, that's what you're going to do. You're going to measure it for above your ankle there, see where that's going to fit appropriately, cut the section off that matches just right, use lighter, burn that little edge, and then glue it down, and bam, you're done with your ankle. It'll be, you know, all perfect. One final point, once you have finished adjusting this for your strap going around your ankle, and you have all these glued down, burned, you know, for the edges and glued down, you're going to want to go ahead and glue the points under here, and under here, so this doesn't slide back and forth. So you just basically open that little hole right there, put a little bit of glue, a dot of glue, hold it down for 15 seconds or so, and that'll secure all three of these points together. So it doesn't move and wiggle, and you'll keep your clip directly in the front. Make sure and go ahead and do that before you move on to the steps over here. That way you're not forgetting anything like I did and had to add into this video. So what do you do for these guys up here? I've already kind of pre-done them. You're like, oh no, you skipped steps, Trip. No, it's really freaking simple. So feed through, you know, glue down your piece after you've fed a piece through, glue this down, fold it over the edge of your buckle, your parachute buckle, and melt it and glue it, the same like we've done before. You'll notice these are pretty short, the way I did this. The reason I did this, and I learned this after making several versions of these Teva sandals, is because if you have these really long and they're flopping all over the place, and it makes it kind of a pain in the butt. If you keep them nice and short, see how they're sticking up like perfect for me to just set my foot right in? That's what you want. You want it nice and easy when you put your foot in there. So basically keep these short. They'll be stiff from the glue holding that nylon together, and these are ready to go to just clip, clip when you do your other sides. It makes it super fast. So then the last thing, you just do the same sort of thing. You wash, rinse, repeat. You glue your section down after you fed this through. You'll put your buckle on. And again, you want to go through the back, down the front. You always want to have your straps facing inwards. You don't want them coming out on top because then you're going to see your edge and everything. It doesn't look nearly as neat and clean. So have it aiming inwards. Measure it to your foot the way you got it. Have it all snapped down. Measure it out. Cut off all the excess you don't need. Burn that edge, glue it down at the appropriate spot, and you're done. You just basically do the same thing with the other side. And when you're done with that, I'm going to go ahead and put this clasp on here again, so Rocco has everything pretty much ready for him when he gets these sandals in the mail. Here we go. That through there. Through there. So what do you got left? I mean, your sandals are pretty much done at that point, right? This is here, this is here. You know, he's going to cut and glue those sections down like we've done with the other ones and like he'll do here too. Your sandal will be pretty much complete. All you have to do is glue that other spot onto here. So make sure it matches up and you have your corrugated side, your diamond side aimed downwards. And that's going to be your finished product. Just basically slather a lot of glue in here and stick them together and hold it for 15-20 seconds or so, and then it'll be nice and firm. And if an edge starts to come up and you're at a con, you're like, oh no, what do I do? make sure you have some extra Loctite Ultra Gel Control ready to go ahead and fix and repair your sandals. I have rarely had to do that, but after I've used the sandals for a bit, sure, if I was dancing hard or doing something, yeah, maybe I need to use a little bit more glue. Very rare that you need much. Your sandals will probably tear or come apart before you end up needing to fix it too terribly much, or make another set. So, there's only one other thing that I would mention, and this will be at the very end. You know, assume that just pretend that I've already glued this all together. And that is this edge all around here. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I learned this because I have a white fursuit for my fursuit paws. This black that you marked along these edges with Sharpie, that may get on your fur. How do you prevent that? Easy. Take like a small paper towel or a rag or a sock you don't care about, you're going to throw away. Dip some alcohol on it and gently rub that edge the whole way around on both sides of these guys before gluing them, or after you've glued them, then do them afterwards. Either way. And it's basically going to just pull up all that excess black Sharpie that was stuck along there that would have gotten onto your fursuit paws. So it's just kind of an extra little trick. It's not a massive deal, but, you know, I'm going for perfection here. I want you guys to not have many surprises here. So I would suggest that as a potential follow-through as well, okay? But that's pretty much going to be your completed sandal, you know, with everything here glued down. You know, obviously I'm leaving this a little bit loose for adjustment so the person I'm sending them to can have it exactly the way he wants and have it fit perfect. And that's the way you make the Teva style fursuit sandals. Just do the same thing with your other one. If you have any questions or comments on this video, you think I'm absolutely nuts, you're like, hey, this is way easier, I use rivets, or I sew everything. Yeah, that's fine if you want to invest that amount of time. Personally, to me, time is money, and this stuff is pretty cheap, and it makes it really fast for repairs and putting these things together in the first place. So my vote goes to Loctite Super Ultra Gel Control. So your call, guys. These sandals cost approximately, for one pair, I would say about $20 to $30. But you have all this extra material at the end. You can make several more pairs. What ends up wearing out first is, of course, going to be your fatigue matting. So what I end up doing when this gets torn up or it's too worn out and I need to make another set, I could go ahead and buy new strapping. It's another $10 and a lot more time invested, and I got to buy new snaps. Yeah, you could do all that. I personally just tear it apart and get all these straps that I had the first time, and I just use them on my new set. Now, once these are gone, yeah, sure, then I got to go buy new stuff. But in the meantime, why not save a little cash? But you want to be all snazzy, get something brand new, go for it. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Leave comments and questions here for the video, and I will edit the entry with the information for this video as needed. And if I missed your comment, just leave another one, and hopefully I'll see it. There you go. Teva Sandals, tripecollie. Have a good one.